So if you wonder how I do my cuts from my boxes and stuff, I don't really use a table saw. That's just for 45s, and then select other pieces very, very rarely. Most, 99% of my cuts are with a circular saw. Nothing special, nothing fancy, but I do use a really good blade, and I do spend extra on the blade because really the blade makes, to me, the biggest difference. And I use a higher tooth count blade, more of a finishing blade, so that way it's a lot cleaner cut when it cuts the wood. It doesn't chop it up as bad, it keeps it very clean and smooth. And I'm running those same blades, Diablos, on all my different equipment. Chop saw, and of course table saw, Diablo, and then all my bits and stuff that I use in my router and stuff is Diablo as well. But anyways, what I do is I measure, and I use a true, that I know is true and straight piece of wood here and stuff. I actually picked this up at the store just for the sole purpose, and then I looked at it and I marked what side that I want to use for the straight side. And then I measure, and I know with my guard, if I do a 1/16 mark past 1.5 inches, that I know that it's going to give me what I'm going for. Like on this one, I'm at 33 and 1/16 because I want 31.5. So when I follow the straight edge with my guard, I'll have 31.5 inches left, which is what I'm going to have here. And this right now, I'm working on the wood from my box. I just started cutting the pieces for it. So this is going to be 22 deep for my box, 31.5 wide for my box. So yeah, you know, nothing special. That's just what it takes. You know, it's not about having, you know, $1,000 table saw and really fancy. Tools make the job easier and less frustrating and more straightforward, but at the same time, it doesn't take a lot of high-end, really expensive tools to be able to, you know, cut a straight line and cut wood. It just takes patience, know-how, and experience. You know, because when I first started cutting, you know, I didn't use a straight edge. I tried to use other techniques. I used to use a guide that would attach to that saw, but I found that guide wouldn't always be true, wouldn't always be straight. I used to pick up wood at Lowe's and Home Depot, and I would have them cut it for me there on their slide saw, which is nice, but you know, most of their cuts weren't always perfect either. So then that's why I really wanted to dial in doing perfect, straight, true cuts. And I actually watched a guy. He's the guy who does the high voltage car audio. Years back, he was on a video using this way, and I liked it, and I tried it, and it worked great for me, and I've used this way for years now. You know, it's like it'd be nice to have a good, big, fancy, huge saw that I can just slide the whole sheet through, but I just don't see justifying the cost when I can do the same cuts. The only thing difference is doing it this way, having to measure and mark, you know, each piece. It takes longer, it's more time consuming, but you know, whereas if I had a huge table saw and I could just slide a whole sheet through here, turn it, slide a whole sheet through here, it'd be faster. But as long as, you know, it's quality versus time, and if you don't mind taking the time and the patience and all that, you don't have to have super high-end gear if you can't afford it, to do a good box and make good cuts.